Okay.
longer
Yes.
than that time that they told me.
Yes.
And so, sometimes the body can go so far and stop.
Yes. I stopped at 3 centimeters.
And so you weren't. It didn't take over a certain amount of time. It wasn't long. The labor wasn't long, but the labor was very hard.
Did they have epidurals back then where you can't feel the pain? They give you that shot in your
They
back?
automatically gave you an epidural.
In the back?
Automatically.
Okay.
They gave you that to help have the baby because the pain is so bad.
Yeah.
So when you were born, I wanted to name you after my father.
Gleason.
His name was Gleason.
Oh, you want to call me Josephina?
Gletson. And we decided if it was a boy,
We name him Gleason.
we would name it Gleason. If it was a girl, we was gonna drop the O-N and put A.
Okay.
And this is how we decided the name.
That's what you and Dad decided.
Yes. So I happened to have a boy first. So I just named him Greg. Anything.
Which came from what?
I picked it from a movie star. Gregory
Okay.
Peck.
Okay. Gregory
I just
Peck.
picked it from a movie star. I called
Yeah,
him Gregory.
you said
But when we
Gregory's a
got ready
pretty
to have
name.
you, I felt like I wanted to honor my father.
Yes. Because you were about 21 then, right?
22, I think.
21, 22.
I think I was. I wanted to honor my father. So, and I love my father so much. And I spent more time really with my father than I did with my mother. So I named you Gleason.
Okay.
And to me, that was one of the most wonderful things I did was to name you after my father.
Yes.
And then a lot of people, when you were born, said you look like them.
Yes.
Because he had a little small face like your nose was a little cute.
Dark skin.
And so,
He reminded me of Blackjack too. Had a little
Yeah,
keen face
because
like
that's his
Blackjack.
nephew.
That was his nephew, yeah.
that's his,
Cynthia and them,
his
they all look
brother's
alike.
son. Blackjack
Yeah.
is his brother's son.
They all had that little face,
So
that little mousy
if you
face
look
like
at that
Cynthia.
Picture, he got that little keen face.
Where? The one that granddaddy.
But everybody wanted to call you Lisa.
Let me see granddaddy. Because they can't say, they call me Lisa now.
That's because they're literate.
Where's the picture? That's Grandpa Joseph Gleason Brown. Yeah, he remind me of Blackjack.
Yeah. So I wanted to honor my father.
Okay, dancing in Kenya. I'm doing a video.
When I gave you that name. And my father really loved you.
Yes.
When
I
would
remember
take
sitting
you-
on his lap drinking coffee.
Yeah, when I would take you, he would take you and tell Greg, get over there and sit down. And Greg was like, Greg couldn't stand it. Greg couldn't stand it, but he was playing with Greg a lot.
Because with girls, how your dad is girl
but
kind of
my father
thing.
was playing with Greg.
Yeah.
Greg used to walk around the farm with grandfather with the chickens and everything.
He had to toughen him up. That's what it is.
But he used to kind of laugh at Greg. My father did things like that and laugh. But
You want to mess with him, tease him.
But you've always been a sensitive person, Lisa. You've always been very sensitive. One time we gave you an ice cream cone. And you were over there eating the ice cream cone. You were having a good time. And Rosa and all of us looked up and said, look at Lisa eating the ice cream cone. And you had a pretty little dress on, the ice cream was everywhere. And I said, I really don't care because you're eating ice cream.
Right.
I ain't always wash your clothes.
I was
had a
enjoying it,
washing
I'm
machine.
sure. I was enjoying it, I'm
They
sure.
didn't have no washing machine, but I had a washing machine.
Yeah.
So I didn't care how dirty you got. But you were very talented and very people liked you. White people would come up and say, look at that little girl.
Sometimes little boy until I got my ears pierced. Because our hair was short for a
You would
while.
talk to them and speak, and you never spoke like we did in Virginia. And you were born in New Jersey.
Yes,
So
I
you
know.
had the accent of somebody from New Jersey. But Greg,
People say now I don't have a Virginian
But
accent.
even though I talked to Greg with my Virginian accent, Greg had a Virginian accent. Greg would say, yeah, okay, no, but you would always say yes
Yeah.
and use proper English. So so that's the way you grew up. But what is it else that you wanted me to remember?
Do you remember like when you were carrying me when I was growing? Do you remember like certain things about the pregnancy? Because I know it's way back. I don't remember certain things about my children's pregnancy. Gabrielle moved a lot at
I
certain
don't
times.
remember. I don't remember with either of my children, either two children, having any type of problem when I was pregnant. You know, some
No
women had morning
complications.
sickness and
And
they
the
walked around
heels would get
looking.
swollen,
I
big
didn't seem
nose.
to.
My nose didn't swell either, I noticed.
I didn't seem to have any problems. That's reason during the 1960s when those women took those medicines for morning sickness and their children came out armless and legless. I didn't have any problem like that. The doctor didn't have to give me anything.
That's good, because I didn't take anything in mine either. I ain't want, because I knew it affected the child.
Yeah,
Any
but I didn't
medication
know
you
it,
take.
I didn't take anything.
Back then, they wouldn't tell you. They probably didn't even know. But by the time I was having mine, I
I grew
knew.
up in the country. We didn't take a whole lot of medicine, so I didn't know nothing about taking no medicine or nothing. And I realized later on that when Melinda and I was friends, that I grew up from a spring water, and I grew up in the sunshine.
I remember going to the spring, and Nanny had a spring, and Grandma had a spring.
I
Yeah.
remember growing up drinking spring water. People, when I got grown, people talking about spring water. I was drinking spring water all my life.
Right. We go down there with them pails and get that
when
spring
Melinda
water.
and I went to a chiropractor, he put Melinda on one thing and me on another. And I was wondering, we're the same age, but Melinda grew up. I never took any type of drugs. I never.
Melinda's aging quicker than you are.
Yeah, and Melinda is a white person will age quicker.
Well, the melanin is a very powerful preservative.
Yeah.
It has a lot of benefits.
So
lot of
I found
benefits.
out that the doctor would tell me to do regular things, and he would put Melinda on something else. And when we were taking yoga,
And
Melinda
once you
would
get
do
on
certain
that
things. But me and
medication.
Melinda came to an understanding because I was raised in the church, and I was raised through religion, and Melinda didn't have any type of religion. So when we got together and talked, we found out that we both were spiritual because I had left the religious realm and gone to spirituality, and she was in spirituality, and we ended up talking together. So that's the reason I know that I can be with anybody in the world, whether they're Muslims, whether they're Jews, whether they're Buddha, whether they're Indians, that basically people are the same.
Yeah.
So I don't have
me
to worry
too.
about.
I can talk
like
with
when
anybody.
I be with Carlton, I don't have to worry. Carlton, no, I don't go to pray like he does. But Carlton know that I love God, so we don't have a problem with that.
Right.
So and then John
I just
told
let
me
people
one
live
time,
their life the way they want to live it.
John told me one time that I could get along almost with any type of people, and I think I can get along with any type of people because I think my background is Cherokee Indian and African. And the type of religions and lives that the things in my lives have taken me to different types of people.
Was that Ma that was Cherokee Indian, half Indian?
The mother,
Ma.
I don't know how much she was Indian, but she was from North Carolina, and there was black Indians.
That was
down there.
grandmother's mother.
Grandmothers, and she.
That's
did,
your grandmother.
My grandmother on my mother's side, and she's.
That's the one they call Ma,
She
because
was
Joyce
the-
said
yeah,
it was called
She
Ma.
was the one that didn't seem to go through really slavery because she was some kind of laundress. She did some kind of laundry work for people, but it wasn't like people in the field and stuff like that. Even though she was black, she did some type of laundry.
Did she wear
when
hair like
when
the natives did?
When I grew up and went out in the world and mixed with Indians and whites and everything, I had an Indian woman to do a divinity thing over me one time, and she slapped me in the middle of my
Divination.
forehead and said, "Open up your third eye."
She did a reading, sound like.
And she said that you didn't come to this country. You were already in this country.
Which country was she talking about?
America. She said you were in this country. You didn't come from this country. And she told me that I was natural. I should wear more white.
They say many of us in America had gone earlier into America. We didn't come in the slave trade.
She said
Many had gone, because Africans went all over the world as
Yeah.
far as migrating. And that, in other words, Africans went to America when there was a connected landmass.
But
Just
I
like the
think she
Red
was-
Indians
I
came.
think she was talking about that my people originated in America. But she said, when she told me something about my husband, she said, your husband is not earthly. Say, you are in
Which
the
husband?
earth. Ain't one?
Oh, okay.
She said, you were in the earth here. But he's not in this earth. He comes from somewhere else.
Another planet, maybe.
She said that, but you are earth. She kept telling
He
me
might
you
be
were earth.
from another planet.
And I was earth. And then I met a
It
Chinese
could be
girl.
air. I'm drinking my
I met a
fire
Chinese girl.
liver kidney cleanser today in
I met
Kenya.
the Chinese girl.
Love it.
And the Chinese girl said, I was the color of this Chinese girl.
Hmm.
And she said, you need to take off that lipstick you got on.
That's from the black Chinese. The first Chinese were black
At
Chinese.
the mall in Richmond.
Okay.
She said,
You heard of the black Chinese?
no, not really, but
There's
I know
black
of the
Chinese,
black Chinese.
yeah,
But
the
she
black
was married to
Chinese.
somebody black, but she was mixed Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me how to
Cheers.
make up, how to make myself up.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, don't use the makeup that the black women use, because I used to use the makeup Rosa used to use.
Mm-hmm.
She said, don't use that, because she said your lips are already dark, so you don't put on a dark lipstick. She said,
I like black ones or brown.
She said at certain time, and she showed me how to make up. She showed me that my skin was not black or brown. She showed me my skin.
Who is this woman now?
The lady used to own that restaurant in the mall.
Downtown Mall.
No, in Richmond, where we had to shop at.
Which mall? Cloverleaf.
Cloverleaf.
Okay.
She showed me that I was yellow.
Was she a Native
I'm
American?
not brown. I'm yellow.
Was she a Native American?
No, she was Chinese.
Oh, she's
She
Chinese.
was quite
Okay.
Chinese. But she told me her coloring was close to hers. My coloring was close to hers. And certain makeup I should use. And at that time, black women had more assortment of makeup.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she told me, you're a nice businesswoman, and I want you to wear certain makeup and things and enhance yourself. Your business is doing good, enhance yourself. So then, of course, when John came along, John talked about Spanish. And then a lot of people told me my name was Hawaiian. My name was Spanish.
Lula.
But my name is really not Lula.
Luella.
My name is Luella. And my name is Luella.
I heard of another Luella somewhere. I forgot where it was. And I said,
Ellison.
okay.
A black woman.
I don't know who it was. I just came across the name somewhere.
It was a white woman. I was named after a movie star.
Okay, what was her name?
Luella.
Edison.
Ellison.
Ellison.
She gave up her career to marry this rich man. And that was a
Okay.
mistake.
That probably ended in divorce. And by
This
that
is what
time,
happened to that girl
the
that
career
married
was
the king,
gone.
The king's son. But anyway.
Which king's son? Megan.
Yeah. So, so you were very talented, and you were very much like my mother's side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
You
Brown.
look like the father's side of the family.
Carries.
You look like the Browns,
I could be also like the folks.
but I mean on our family, the folks ain't included in this. It's the Carries and the Browns. You look more like the Browns, but you act more like the Carries. Because the Carries played music and sung music and was musical.
Oh,
The
okay.
Browns were more
Grandma
business-
used to like to dance, didn't she?
Yeah, the Browns
I remember
were
you
business,
telling me that.
Browns were business people and preachers. But even the
Okay.
Carries was preacher people too.
Everybody was preachers back then. That was the thing to be.
No, but we came all the way down with the Carries from Lot Carey from Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
So Lot Carey was a missionary,
Mm-hmm.
and they started churches. So on my mother's side, my grandfather on my mother's side was poisoned. Somebody poisoned him. He was a light-skinned man,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody poisoned him.
Why?
I don't know. They said he was at a wedding, and they said, take this to the man that married the girl. I don't know if they were talking about the husband. Whatever he took, it poisoned him. And my grandmother,
He was the one that was getting married?
he
They
was
got
the one
poisoned?
doing the marriage. But the
Oh.
person said, take this to the person that married. So I don't know if they took the poison to the wrong person.
Mm.
But anyway,
And they gave it to the minister.
He died when he was young.
Mm.
And my
Okay, terrible.
grandmother was in the church. He was a minister, and my grandmother came out of the church.
That's your mother's father?
My mother's mother.
Mother's mother. Okay.
My mother and my mother's father, yeah.
Mhm.
She came out of the church. My grandmother Mary,
Okay.
Mom,
Yes.
came out of the
Mom.
church, and she would always say, "This place in Ismont is a hellhole." And those people, after he died, those people didn't do nothing to help her.
So, does Rosa have a picture of Mom?
I have a picture of her.
Where is it? Did I see it?
Yeah. You and Greg never seen it.
I think I saw one
It's on my phone.
with Mom when she was young. When your mother was young, was she
Yeah,
young?
it's on my phone.
I thought I saw
You
it.
can look on my phone and see.
Is it on Facebook? You got it from somebody?
I got
Cause
it.
somebody,
from,
you told me Rosa got all the
somebody
pictures, so I
sent
got to
it
go
me.
see
I
Aunt
don't know.
Rosa. I'm gonna
I
call her
thought you sent
soon.
it to me.
I probably did. I got it probably from somebody that posted, maybe Crystal and them, or Greg. Greg went to Rosa and got some pictures.
Yeah,
I think that was one of
Well,
them.
But anyway, getting back to you.
Did him call and say,
You
"Look,
were
you
very
want to ride to
talented.
Charlottesville? We go to Charlottesville." He be like, "We going to Charlottesville." Though they
You
tell
were
me when they
very
get back.
talented
Mm.
and very smart.
Mm-hmm.
But after you finished school.
I remember reading to the first grade class.
After you and I was tight, we were like sisters. But once you finished college and had your own life, you and I didn't have a rapport together. We were always
lost touch, maybe.
Opposite life. But I thought when I separated from England that you were gonna be in my right hand. But you went out on your own.
Because then that love was calling me then. I thought I was in love.
But you know, my son
You know how
came
that
to
is.
me. My son came to me and got married. When he got married, and he said, "Mother, I want you to leave me and Tammy alone and let us bond." And I believe in let bygones be bygones. If you want that, I can give it to you. I asked for that.
Instead of come together as a family, though, instead of it's just me and her, Greg had this whole exclusion thing, I felt. You know, it's me and my little small unit now, and the rest of y'all do y'all thing.
Yeah, well, there's a bonding time.
That's not the African way,
There's
though.
a bonding time in life.
Ain't the African way, though.
When Neil died, I felt like...
Yeah, the whole 20 years we left him alone.
But I was saying, like, I felt like when Neil died, I felt like I couldn't share this with my family. They didn't understand what I was going through.
I don't know why not. People felt shut out.
I needed to do that alone.
People felt shut out. Anyone that loved you and cared about you felt like they were cut off. At least I did.
I think that there's a time.
And so people want to support you in your grief.
But I told everybody.
Leave me
I
alone.
didn't just shut off. I told everybody I wanted this time alone.
I need time alone. I understand.
Yeah. I told everybody.
Do what you got to do. I understand.
Yeah, I told everybody that I was connected with, I need this time alone.
Right.
This was something that I shared.
Right.
And you don't know about this, and I don't have time to explain this to you.
Right.
So I believe that when you go through certain phases in life, you can't lean on other people's opinions. That's why when I went through the divorce, my brother Hunter called me every day, and I said, I don't want to talk to you. I have to make this decision without you. And Rosa and Edith wanted me to stay in Ismont, and I said, I can't stay, and some friends wanted me to stay, Brenda and them. My friends wanted me to stay, and I said, no, I have to go away so I can think. And so when I got away, I weighed the option. I weighed that marriage, and I decided I wanted out. So, and I have to be the type of person when I do something, I have to be alone. I can't do it with other people's opinions around me. Other people telling me this is this, this is that. I have to do it myself. So, but I usually try to
all the
tell,
influence.
I usually try to tell people. I tell somebody I have something in mind I can't tell you now. Later on I can talk to you about it. But this is something I have to carry alone. And I think the Spirit has Spirit put that in me. Say, you mull over this a while before you share. Because one time he told me to lower my skirts. And I went around and told everybody else to lower their skirts. Of course, I lowered mine. But then he came back and said, I never told you to tell anybody to lower their skirts. I told you to lower. So I think that I have to mull over things before I do. Yeah. But you grew up a very nice little child and very... you had a lot of...
Did you used to pat me on the back when I cried in the crib? Because sometimes I remember...
I used to sing to you all the time. You and Greg, I used to sing to.
I remember being in a crib, and I remember being curled up in the fetal position, probably laying on my side or on my stomach. And I remember crying, and a hand, which I didn't see who it was, would come and pat me on the back like this.
Probably was me.
Wouldn't say, I don't remember any words being said, but I remember a hand just like that. Probably. And then the hand would stop after a few seconds, and then I'd cry a little bit more because I was still awake.
Probably did, because
and then the hand would come again.
Time, please don't pat my back when you hug me.
It was like this.
Was it you, Sim?
And then eventually, I guess I was going to sleep.
Was it you that said don't pat my back?
So I had to be very small.
When you hug me. When I thought people, I pat their back.
Yeah.
And somebody told me, don't pat my back when you hug me.
But I remember that it was very patient. I could tell that person was very patient. Because, you know, a baby can tell when you, like, going to sleep. Yeah. Some people like, this Kenya in the middle of the night. Just hear it. And then the baby gets more irritated.
Well, you were...
I don't remember that.
You weren't an easy child to raise. You weren't an easy child to raise. And I'm not good at raising girls.
Yes. Why not?
If you notice, all the people around me are men.
I'm usually the same way.
Barack.
I seem to relate better with men.
You know, I don't see. I relate because, and I know why I relate better with men, because I was between two brothers, and my father and I was close.
Yeah. And I had one brother, so that's all I knew was that one brother.
But every man I meet want me to be their mother, including Kasim. Kasim said, I'm your Kenyan son.
Yeah, because you're the Cancer, the mother of signs, of mother of all. That's the Cancer.
So I had Harry. Who else did I have, Sil?
You the Cancer. Seasway.
Seasway, Muhammad.
Everybody.
So, and you never see me a lot with women.
Yeah.
Now, Melinda was my best friend.
Yes.
Because when I went to Richmond, all the women I talked to just babbled. I already gave Lisa a copy.
Mm-hmm. You have it?
This is the 2 copies. I already gave Lisa one.
Yeah.
Oh, she's over the house.
Yeah.
Is that the house?
Listen.
You have it. You have that copy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think this is it right here.
She got to figure it out. But anyway.
And I'm going to build
This
mine
is it
like
here.
this too.
Okay.
Yeah, because this
Get
is
on my
a
tape.
design.
That's a
my
good
tape.
design,
We're
isn't
doing the
it?
tape.
Is that the that's your stall though, Baba?
Huh?
That's the stalls y'all putting on the land right here. That's your store, right?
That's the buildings we built.
That's the buildings.
Oh.
Yes, but even the Swahili
The
house is a
commercial
good
building.
design. Yeah.
So, what was I saying?
Let's see. We were talking about
Oh,
growing
I
up.
mother
Growing
men.
up with men.
I mother men better than I. One time somebody told me when I was at the University of Virginia, said, you're always walking around with some good looking young man. Even at the university, it was very few women,
Yes.
you know. That Betty is one that I've counseled. There was a young white girl at the university that came to me. She came to me. All them white women was in the university. She came to me. I was like, what are you talking about?
I find that I turn to men for like advice. I don't really talk to a lot of women. Probably because I had a brother growing up.
Yeah.
So I decided, I said, well, let me try to balance things out because all my friends
you
seem
never
to
had
be
a sister.
males.
You never had a sister.
So when you're in a relationship, they don't always understand, why you got male friends. That's who I have friends with. So that's why the sisterhood group is helping me because now I have sisters to bond with. And me and Monica talk. So I'm balancing actually that because I feel like you can be kind of extreme. You got to keep things in the balance. At least that's for me. So my spirit felt like I needed more feminine energy around me to bring out certain things in me that I need to bring out.
Well, I had,
because I got that masculine straight.
What you're saying there is when I went to the chiropractor, I had a female chiropractor, and she brought out my femininity. Because I have a tendency to be, my male is high. So, like, I can shoot a gun.
You probably got high testosterone, too.
No.
The hormone.
I don't know if I had that. My father, I spend no time with my father.
Because they say black men have the highest level of testosterone of anybody, and then black women have the second level of the highest level of testosterone.
But
which is the hormone of assertive aggressiveness, of, physicality, all of that.
I wasn't always like that.
Thinking, logical thinking.
I wasn't like that when I was younger. I was very feminine when I was younger.
Sexual prowess,
what
all of that.
happened is the psychologist,
vitality.
The chiropractor told me, you have no good real male, what do you call them?
Role model.
Role model. And she asked me, I said, my father died, my son went off to college.
But you had a role model, so you still have them.
In the beginning, I had this.
Even when they passed, you still got them.
I had this feminine in the beginning. And then afterwards, all this masculinity left me. And I began to take on my own. And I did everything on my own because I actually injured my back because I couldn't find nobody to help me lift nothing, so I did everything myself. I know how to use a hammer. I know how to use a wheelbarrow. My husband don't know how to use a hammer.
I think that's what facilitated my uterus to slip too, because the heavy lifting is not good for the uterus. It impacts our uterus, that area, because when you lift, this goes right there to the pelvis.
But the woman is not supposed to be doing that
She's
lifting
not supposed
anyway.
to be lifting heavy. That's why I told Mary, don't you be lifting no semen
But like
bags.
I told Simon now,
Let
with this
them
water,
men
I
lift them
lift that
bags.
20 liter of water every day. As soon as I get out the bed, I lift that water.
Let them use the muscles they got. A lot of them walk around with muscles.
I would never have the toilet flush if I wait for somebody to lift that and pour it in the toilet. I just got through doing it.
That's why you got people hired.
But anyway, I grew up strong. I was a strong woman. And actually, in school, I never missed a day. I think I went 7 years of school without missing one day. So I was always healthy.
I only missed because I used to get the flu every year.
Yeah.
Remember I used to get the flu?
Yeah, you used to get sick
but
every
I used
year.
to I think I programmed myself to get the flu because you would be at home. You would take off time and you'd be cooking me soup and making me hot toddy.
But what happened is,
I think my mind had decided every year I'm going to get special attention.
Every time I looked out that door, I said, Lisa, put your coat on. I look out that door, your coat was off.
Running free.
And I knew you get sick easily. And one time the cousin came and stayed with us, and y'all slept with the cousin. The cousin had them sores on him. Greg and you slept with the cousin. You the only one woke up with the sores. So no matter, and I was very careful.
Sensitive.
I said sensitive. I was very careful of you around people
Yeah.
because you could catch things easy.
Yes.
And
My immune, you know what it was? My immune system was low. That's what it sounds like.
And so but I had certain things like in my throat. John told me to wear that white scarf, remember?
Yeah.
Around my throat.
Especially when it's cool.
I even still know
I have to
it.
cover my
I
throat.
wear a scarf. But Kassan was telling me, sometime when you're sitting, rub this thing right here. This little hole right here.
Massage it.
That little hole right there, where they do that trachea on. He
Rub it to massage
that.
it.
He tell me rub that sometime.
They have to relax.
That help you, yeah, with something in your throat.
Probably calms you too.
Mary always had a throat problem too. So
You can do
But
this
anyway-
too. Temple rubbing.
But anyway, I didn't have hardly any problem with you until after you got out of college. You were like a perfect little child. I spanked you and stuff. I asked you one time. I told you not to do that. So I'm gonna spank you. What kind of punishment you want?
Because in college is when I lost my virginity. I think that changes things.
Yeah.
Then you become your own woman.
Yeah.
Now you're a woman.
Yeah.
So now you start thinking
in
a different way.
But I mean, I had to kind of, you gonna get a spanking, Gleason. But you would always go in your room and do your homework. And I never had to worry about you with no boys and stuff like some girls sneaking out the window and all that stuff. And
Although one time Carlton Luck did sneak to the house one time and we kissed. Other than that,
Carlton Luck,
he knew he had to get up out of there.
Came to
yes.
my house.
Yes.
if I'd have known
I
how
don't
to
know
kill
how
him.
he got. He must have got off the bus at my stop.
That was great.
I don't know, but we were probably about 13, 14, somewhere in
But
there.
which one is
High school
Andre is the
age.
one that kind of gay.
Yeah, Carlton's the one around my age, the cute one with the long
Carlton,
neck.
the one that I think that woman
We used
told
to
me.
play together. We grew up together, basically.
That woman told me. She said to me one time, Greg was living with Tammy, and she said to me, you know, you should talk to your son. I said, look, Greg is a grown individual, and once police, it's certain things that I don't bother Greg police about. They got to make their own decision.
When was that? After he left the home? I'm
Yeah.
ready to eat. Y'all ready to eat breakfast?
Yeah,
We can
after
eat
you-
breakfast.
It's some egg. Yeah, go ahead and eat. We done ate. I done ate what I'm gonna eat.
You been ate?
Yeah.
Did y'all eat
And
Muhammad?
Lisa, and I think she did never talk to me about anything wrong with her children. But if we would talk about Greg and living with Tammy and stuff, and I said he's a grown person,
I'm
he
still
didn't want to do. And Lisa, that girl went to the doctor one time and they couldn't find nothing wrong with her.
Which girl?
Nancy.
That he used to go out with.
No, Nancy the mother. Nancy held stuff in and didn't talk about it.
Who was Nancy? The mother of who?
Carlton's mother.
Oh yeah. Was she a hypochondriac?
And Carlton was the one that was the problem.
She wanted attention, perhaps psychologically. She didn't realize it could have been subconscious.
Carlton one time was
Attention by being a
after
master.
Carlton got to be grown. Carlton I think was trying to do drugs and Andre didn't get no trouble. And was it two of them?
Oh, you mean was the father named Carlton?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that boy was trouble. He always
Carlton loved the youngest one. He was the
Yeah.
youngest one.
Was it two of them, please?
I think it was just two of them.
And Belinda was the daughter.
Yes.
And Carlton was always doing something.
Yeah, he was kind of mischievous.
And I think if she didn't have
But
that
he was
much-
tall. Remember, he
Yeah.
in high school, he got real
She
tall.
didn't have no trouble with Melinda. And
He just kinda
I
like
think
jealous
what
for a
happened,
minute 'cause
I
we
told
was
her
on each other.
psychologically, I said, you got some problems that you need to talk to somebody about. And you know, minister wives are high-headed, like everything good. And she told me that.
Robert, these are for you too. I'm putting my arm in here.
I'm going to that. I told you I'm waiting for my daughter.
Oh, okay. Mother, did you eat? What we're going to eat, let me show you all, is mahamri, which are beans. I'm sorry, mahamri is the bread, which I'm making an exception for white bread products this week, and mbaazi, which are beans like black-eyed peas with coconut milk cooked with it. That's the white there. So that's what we're getting ready to eat for breakfast. I've already taken my kidney liver fire power cleanser. First I drank my water, then I drank my chamomile tea, then I took my liver kidney cleanser. Now I'm going to eat some breakfast with some garlic, of course, to clear out the white products, the white bread products. So anyway,